So I was originally going to rank all 11 Star Wars films when Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker came out, but the reason why I didn't do this because I didn't really know where I would place The Rise of Skywalker, but now that I think of it, I think I have a pretty solid ranking. So today I thought it'd be fun to stop and rank all 11 theatrically released live-action Star Wars films from the worst to the best. Before I give you guys my thoughts, let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comment section below. Which ones do you love? Which ones do you hate? I would love to know all your thoughts. So without further ado, let's get into it. Coming in last place, I have Star Wars Attack of the Clones. This is just a dull, CGI, lifeless mess from start to finish, and I think this is literally the only Star Wars film that is bearably unwatchable. I think Ewan McGregor is the best part. I think he's fantastic as Obi-Wan Kenobi, even when he's working with subpar writing or writing that's not as good or as good as it should be. I think he's really great about in this film, but the rest of the film is just a complete utter mess. The action sequences are CGI overload. The lightsaber duels, which is normally the best part of these Star Wars films, at least these Star Wars prequels, is absolutely terrible. The film's romance, and especially the dialogue of these romance sequences, are just terrible. The dialogue itself is bad. The chemistry between Anakin and Padme, they have absolutely no chemistry. Didn't really know how to interweave this romance with this pretty just kind of fine plot from start to finish. This is just a dull film with so many problems, so many subplots, and just overall a mess of a film. Coming in 10th place, I have Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Now, I think there's a really great film in Star Wars The Phantom Menace. Granted, you would have to change basically this entire film to get to that great film. There's so many ideas that this film could have done. There's so many ideas that George Lucas could have made a fantastic Star Wars film. But the film is just cluttered. It's overall, and what really surprised me is how absolutely dull and lifeless the performances are here. And just overall, it's just a dull, lifeless film with performances. That's kind of the problem with George Lucas is he loves to direct visuals more than he loves to direct his actors. He was the same thing with the original Star Wars trilogy with A New Hope, the one he directed. He was the same way with that one. I would say Darth Maul is easily the best part of this film. He's pretty great, and the stunt work with him is great. The music by John Williams is great as always. The Duel of the Fates soundtrack is one of my favorite Star Wars themes just ever. The final lightsaber fight between Darth Maul, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and Qui-Gon Jinn is really well choreographed, really well shot, and really well edited. And yes, it's a bit too over-choreographed, but it's still really fun action sequences. But Anakin is just annoying and pointless, and Padme has no reason being in this film. And Jar Jar Binks is an extremely annoying and outright just pretty bad Star Wars character. Overall, this film is just very disappointing. Coming in 9th place is a very disappointing pick for me. I have Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker. Now, there is a pretty big gap between Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace for this film for me. It's just a film that's just really, there's a lot of really bad elements in this film that just frustrate me. And for one of those big reasons, maybe the big reason is the Palpatine thing. It totally destroys what they did with Return of the Jedi to this film with the whole Darth Vader thing. It absolutely just demolishes that. There is some really good performances here. The visual effects, I think, are stunning. The action sequences, for the most part, are extremely entertaining. The film has some good one-liners and some good funny jokes. The film is a good film to watch. I would say it's very watchable. It's not like Episode 2 and 1 where they're just pretty unbearable to watch. And I would say Kylo Ren's arc in this film between 7 and 8, 7, 8, and 9, I think are great. Even though I didn't like that they basically just did a Vader, I still really like it. And the scene between him and Han Solo is a pretty great scene, even though Harrison Ford looks like he just wants to kill himself at this time he's on set. But overall, there's so many questions that aren't answered. What did Finn want to say to Rey? The whole Palpatine thing, and it's just a film that overall is a pretty cluttered mess and doesn't really have much to go for. Coming in number 8 is Solo, a Star Wars story. Now, I really like this film more than most people. I think the action sequences, this is some of the best action scenes of any Star Wars film. I would say the train heist is extremely fun and kinetic. The trench run, I also think, is really cool. And I would say Han Solo, even though he doesn't really feel the same as he did in A New Hope, I still like what the actor ended up doing with his character. And it's overall just a fun space adventure. It doesn't pull in space politics. It has nothing to do with the Force or the grand adventure. Even if you don't like Star Wars or know nothing really about Star Wars, I think this is a pretty fun Star Wars film and to get involved in. Where puts this film so low for me is that last act. It's pretty silly and just overall, it's betrayal after betrayal after betrayal. The Darth Maul reveal, even though how much I really love Darth Maul did not need to be there. It's a convoluted ending with just bad stuff. For a sequel that I would have liked to see since I like this film so much, and the film sometimes just doesn't really have that great dialogue or writing or dialogue delivery. But overall, I think this is just a super fun Star Wars film, and that's what it is for me. Coming in number 7th, I have Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Solo and Rogue One are tied for me, and I would say the final battle sequence is some of the best Star Wars. It's peak Star Wars for me. That is just an insane battle action sequence. And just, it's super fun and engaging, and the visual effects are fantastic. It's super entertaining. Darth Vader's fantastic. The Darth Vader scene where he's just mowing guys down left and right is one of the best Star Wars sequences. The problem is, characters are super dull. It kind of has the Solo problem, where characters are just dull and bland and boring and just not interesting. It's really well shot, but the characters and the performances, you just don't care about these characters. And the director was more worried about directing visuals, which this film is some of the best shot Star Wars film. It's this and Last Jedi compared to the best shot Star Wars films. He was more worried about making visuals than making great characters. Coming in 6th place, this is going to be a pretty controversial pick. I have Return of the Jedi. Now, I don't hate this film by any means of the necessary. The relationship between Luke and Darth Vader, I think, is tragic. It's so great in this film, and the lightsaber fight is more has more stakes and has more inherent and has more emotional weight than I think than a lot of people remember. I think the Jabba sequence is extremely fun. The film is really well paced, and it's just a fun action film. And it has easily the best space battle in Star Wars history. What gets me is just Han Solo, one of my favorite Star Wars characters, is just absolutely an idiot in this film. He doesn't feel like the same character. He just feels like a bumbling fool in this film, which really disappoints me. And while I don't hate the Ewoks, I don't really love them either. They did not really need to be there, and it's just kind of silly and dumb. The Emperor is great, and it kind of wraps up this trilogy in a super nice way. It's just there's a lot of moments that I didn't really find. And my favorite character of Star Wars history, Yoda, I thought his death was pretty powerful and impactful. It's just he died too quickly. He died too soon. It felt extremely rushed. And there's a lot of aspects of this film that just feel pretty rushed. Coming in 5th place, I have Star Wars Revenge of the Sith. I know, Revenge of the Sith above Return of the Jedi. Gonna get some flack for this one. But the reason why this is above Return of the Jedi for me, and these two films went back and back, is this film understands the relationship that Obi-Wan described to Luke in Episode 4 in this film, the kind of brother-like relationship, and I think this is the best Hayden Christensen is, and this is the best prequel. It's the action sequences, I think, are great. The final lightsaber fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin is my second favorite lightsaber duel. It's really incredible. The film has this emotional weight. The Order 66 execution sequence is powerful and impactful. John Williams' score is incredible. And there is some bad dialogue, and the romance isn't really that great. And there's still too much in terms of CGI and stuff. And kind of Darth Vader's turn is easily the worst part of this film, the way he turns and the way they handled that turn. But in terms of a film I watch more, I think I'd rather watch Revenge of the Sith than Return of the Jedi, because Return of the Jedi is a film that is really good. I think I would give this film and Return of the Jedi the same grade. I'll probably give both of these films like a B+. It was neck and neck for me. It's just thinking about it more, I like this film just a tad bit more. Coming in fourth place is another super controversial film, is The Last Jedi. I don't hate this film at all. I think this is a really good film when it focuses on Rey, Luke, and Kylo Ren. And this is top Star Wars in those moments. It's gorgeously shot. Rian Johnson did a fantastic job directing the visuals. The throne lightsaber sequence possibly might be my third favorite lightsaber duel sequence, or even my favorite. It's gorgeously shot. The colors, the kind of the landscape sequences, and Luke, I think this is the best Mark Hamill is as Luke Skywalker in the entire Star Wars saga. The problem is, there's a lot of continuity problems that they just break. The Finn and Rose subplot on the Canto Bight is just absolutely terrible and is the worst part of this film. And the whole light speed jump thing, I'm not going to go into it again. I have an entire video making about that. It's just terrible. And the film isn't perfectly paced in a lot of ways, and I think there's too many jokes at times going on, but I still think it's really enjoyable. Coming in third place, I have Star Wars The Force Awakens. Now, I kind of think this film as a great popcorn roller coaster Star Wars adventure in terms of entertainment, in terms of non-stop thrill ride, in terms of super fast-paced filmmaking. This and Empire Strikes Back are the super fast-paced Star Wars films, but I love the new characters that they introduced. Kylo Ren is a really conflicting villain. I think Harrison Ford, this is the best he's been since the original trilogy, and the death of Han Solo, I think they captivated and did extremely well, and it didn't feel forced. It didn't feel overdone. It felt perfect into making this character and kind of using the choice and letting him off the franchise excellently. The action sequences, I think, is a lot of fun. My main problem is it's a pretty simple plot to A New Hope. And there's, in the whole new Death Star, Star Killer base, wasn't really a fan of. But overall, I think this is just a fun Star Wars film. Coming in second place, I have Star Wars A New Hope. I have grown a bit of an appreciation of this film, because originally, when I was younger, this was kind of low-tier Star Wars film for me. But the more I got older, the more I just appreciate how freaking phenomenal this film is. It's really great. It's just, imagine yourself in the 70s watching Star Wars for the very first time. It will never be the same because it's such an impactful film from start to finish. I think the visual effects is phenomenal. The pacing is fantastic. The characters is amazing. Yes, Han did shoot first. The amazing special effects, the sound design, the editing, the direction, the pacing, the Death Star trench run. It's all perfectly executed from start to finish. But of course, coming in first place, I don't like to be cliched, but it's The Empire Strikes Back. This film is just fast-paced filmmaking. This is maybe the most fast-paced 2-hour film. It's this, the Indiana Jones films, and others that are just super fast-paced. But this film, from start to finish, you're instantly in this film's grip until the credits roll. It's a perfectly made film from start to finish. The action sequences is great. It has one of the best movie twist of all time. It has maybe the best lightsaber fight in the entire trilogy, Luke versus Darth Vader. It introduced my personal favorite character, Yoda. It's a film that is perfectly made, perfectly directed. Overall, it's a pretty impactful film and has one of the best endings in movie history. So there you guys have it. That is my ranking of all 11 Star Wars films. What do you think of this? I'll let you know all your thoughts down in the comments below. And how would you rank all 11 Star Wars films? And if you want to throw in the Attack Clone Wars movie, you may. I did not include that in because I've not seen that film. And if you include in the holiday specials and some of the other films, let's talk about Star Wars down in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, you can hit that like button and subscribe and hit that post notification bell so you guys know when I upload another video. You guys can check out my podcast I do every other Tuesday with a friend of mine. We talk about movies, TV shows, a whole bunch of nonsense. It's called the Movie View Podcast, and you guys can check out my Instagram at GeneralScottDaniel77. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys next time. General out.